Welcome to the Confidence Cafe, the podcast where I give you strategies to develop strong confidence. Hi, I'm Karina from KG Confidence Coaching, a life coach specialized in confidence building. I work with teenagers between the age of 12 and 25 to help them thrive in school, at home, and in their life in general. In this podcast, I give you all the tools, tips, and motivation necessary to increase your self-esteem and tackle down self-doubt. Now, let's get into today's episode. Today, I decided to talk to you about connection between teenagers and parents. Oftentimes, in my practice, I noticed parents complaining that they are not able to talk with their teenagers anymore. Either their teenagers don't listen to them or don't talk to them, or they completely avoid spending time with them, like they don't want to spend time watching a movie with them or doing any family activities anymore. And so I thought that would be a good idea to actually explain you where this behavior is coming from, and also giving you some tips on how to remedy it. So as you know, the generation gap has always existed. There's always been a generation that has called the younger one lazy or complaining that they have it too easy. I mean, I remember my parents calling me a bit lazy, like even not a bit, just a lot lazy, and that I had it way easier than them, that their life had been way harder. And my grandmother did the same to my mom, and calling her like lazy and not having it as hard as she had it. And oftentimes we have this generation gap in that we try to make the other generation feel like their life is so easy, and we forget that actually it was not easy for us. We didn't have it easy when we were teenagers. We found everything difficult, and that's where the gap is coming from. It's somehow we have this selective amnesia about how teenagehood really was, what it really was like for us, like our day-to-day life, how we actually felt. You have to remember, when we're teenagers, our hormones are all over the place. Our brain is not fully developed yet. There's a lot of demands coming from every part. Well, first of all, when it comes to school, you have way more pressure. You're in the time now when you have those big exams coming. Would it be at the end of middle school or at the end of secondary school? You have those big exams, and they look like walls to us. We're like, how am I going to be able to do that? Will I be able to study enough? Will I get the good marks? Will I have enough points, So you have that. For the oldest one, you also start feeling the pressure of finding out what you want to do with your life, choosing a career, picking the right college, getting accepted in the right college. So you have those academic pressure, okay? But you also have social pressure, because this is teenagehood, and you have to understand that a teen's social structure depends entirely on them being accepted by the group. And actually, just think about, where do you spend most of your time? It's at work. Whatever the atmosphere is at work, it has a great impact on you. And of course, adults, we have less problems at work. Yes, bullies are there, but somehow we are better at dealing with them, and they are less frequent because it's not something as common. But at teenagehood, bullying is so common. Like, some teenagers can be so mean, and they do not yet understand the impact of what they're doing to others, So you have to really be accepted by the group. You have to be part of the group, and that demands a lot of work for each teenager, to always look the part, to always look perfect, to always fit. And that is not always possible. And this is their priorities. Their priority is really to make their day-to-day life as easy as possible by being part of the group and making sure they are part of the group chat, They don't miss out on whatever is happening. They don't miss out on the different trends. They don't miss out on, like, when they go out, will they be invited? If they go to the cinema, to the shopping center, will they be part of the group? So the fear of rejection is like at its peak during teenagehood, because you need to be part of the group, because that's your way to be safe somehow. That's the safety net. Now, as an adult, you have different priorities. You want your family life to be good. You want your children to spend time with you. You want to be able to take care of them and listen to them and guide them. But that's not what they want. They want to be let go. They want to actually spend as much time as possible with their friend to maintain their social structure. And that's also where the gap is coming from, is the different priorities. As a parent, you have your priorities, but as teenagers, compared to children in particular, that's the difference. Now they have their own priorities. They have things they have to prioritize in their life. And if for you, they are like things that are not important at all, you have to remember how it was for you back then. For them, it's the highest priority. Being part of the group, being in the group chat, being there when they go out, being included. So that's where somehow the split is coming from. It is the difference in priority. And of course, you don't want to let go. We don't want to let go of our children. We want to be there for them. And the thing is, oftentimes, they don't open up as much anymore. They don't share as much anymore. They have more of a private life than before. They don't come home and tell them all the details about how the day went and what they did and who they spoke with and who they played with, because, they don't really play anymore now. But anyway, just to say, your child is still there, and your child is going to come back after teenagehood is over, mostly. Like, college year is more like the time when the brain finishes developing and life is different and bullying is gone, so they can be more focused again on family life. But it is true, between the age of 12 and 19, their priorities are going to be very different from yours. And their priority is going to be to maintain their social structure, their social status. That's the important thing for them at the moment. Also, you have to remember, teenagers are like victim of their hormones, and there's not much they can do about the mood swings, for example. Mood swings, they are difficult to deal with for everybody. And for teenagers in particular, they are not used to having their mood doing up and downs like that, and it's not fun for anybody to feel good, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, you're going to feel super angry, and you will want to bite everybody around you. And then 2 seconds later, you're going to want to cry. You're going to feel so sad. You're going to feel so depressed. You're going to want to cry. And then again, you're going to be happy. You're going to be laughing. This is mood swings, and this is typical, what's the word? This is the typical puberty. The word was not coming back to me. This is typical puberty. Hormone acting up and giving them those mood swings. So we have to remember also that they are not always master of those mood swings, and that we have to be like super patient with them, but to a certain extent, like still like maintaining rules and maintaining respect in the house. But yet, yes, sometimes it's difficult to be on the receiving side. And I understand from my perspective, I have it easier in my coaching sessions with teenagers, because they are enjoying themselves with me. They are looking forward to talk with me, so they're excited and they tell me all sorts of things, But I think the reason they do so, I believe it, is that I never judge or lecture them. I'm just here to listen. And I listen with my adult ears and my adult perspective, remembering I am the adult in the relationship here. I have to behave and react like an adult would do. I can't respond like sometimes they get like very excited and angry. I don't respond with anger. I still stay super calm. And that helps them to come back down, actually. Is I don't match their energy when it comes to anger and frustration. I stay at my level, and it helps them to come back down. So there's that. And of course, even if it's difficult for them and they have different priorities, you can still connect with them. There are many ways for you to connect with them. There are like activities you can practice together. For example, what I recommend is having a walk together. And I know it sounds really cliche, and maybe you already have walks with them and you have the feeling it doesn't work, but actually it does work. Because when you're walking, it helps to put all your ideas together. It helps you somehow make the pieces of the puzzle fit together. It helps you to rethink of your day's decisions, the things that are bothering you at that time. It helps you to see more clearly. It helps you to gain, actually, yes, it helps you gain clarity about a lot of things. So having a walk with your team is the perfect activity for them to talk to you and to actually clarify with themselves and with you what's going on in their life and what's the best next step for them. What is the best action plan for them? So, an important thing, and I know it sounds obvious, but yet I'm going to say it, you leave the phone in the car. You're not having a walk with them looking at the phone. You're having a walk with them with the phone in the car, or leaving the phone at home. This is a moment for you and them, not you, them, and the rest of the world. Having the phone all the time at hand creates a disconnect with what is happening in real life. So, I emphasize it one more time, no phone of any kind. So you go on your walk and you let them talk. You can ask one question. You ask one simple, short, open question, and you let them talk. If what you're missing in them talking to you, don't feel the void, don't feel the silence. Let them come to you. Because oftentimes when we ask a question and people don't reply straight away, we ask the question again, or we ask it differently. We ask many follow-up questions, and that person didn't get a chance to create the answer to the first question, that already they have so many more questions to answer to, and that can make them feel overwhelmed. And also, if they are the kind who need time to talk, they are not sure it is their turn to talk if the silence is not there to tell them, yes, you can talk now. So be mindful of that. You ask one open question and you give them time to talk to you. Or you can also simply let them talk. If they have something bothering them, don't ask them what's bothering you, because they're going to say nothing. Like, whoever answered honestly to the question, what's bothering, what's going on, you don't tell, you don't say anything, or ask them a more precise question. Not like, how is it going in school? Because the answer, how's going to school, is going to be like, it's okay, it's fine, it's grand, whatever it is. But it's not going to be like something that is going to make them have a long conversation with you. Anything that you can think of that is a bit more detailed. So, for example, if you want to talk about school, you can ask, what are you studying currently in French? And I'm not saying that because I'm French and I'm biased. But you can ask them what you're learning currently in math, French, English, whatever. If you want to talk about school. But if you want to ask them about their friends, you can ask them, for example, how is whoever his or her name is, their best friend, how's Ashley, or how's Thomas, Ask them how their friends are, and maybe it's going to get them talking about their friends, if that's what you want to know. But the important part, again, is to not be probing or intrusive, but just, ask genuine questions. Another activity I think is really amazing to do together with your team is cooking. Because this one, you're sharing a skill. If you're a good cook yourself, you're sharing your skill, and you're going to help them improve their confidence. And I'm going to explain you why. So I learned to cook when I was 12, and I will always remember the first things I did with my mom instructing me, because it was so important. There are things I still know how to do. So I felt, I was given like a legacy somehow, I was given the legacy from my family recipes. So there's that part, and it makes you really feel connected, with your family, with your mother at that moment, of course, or with your dad if your father cooking. My partner, his dad is the cook in the family, so he learned to cook with his dad. So you're like really passing on your legacy to your child, to your teen there. So this is a very great bonding activity, definitely. And why does it improve their confidence? Well, simply because they're going to be able to show the result and get the rest of the family to enjoy the result. And I think it's like a victory, an achievement to be able to cook a meal and get the rest of the family to enjoy it. This is a great confidence boost. This is really what is going to make them feel really important and valued in the family at that moment. So cooking together, really to put in your bucket list of things to do with your teen to create a new bond. Now, another thing I can advise you to do as well is to make a puzzle together. And I'm going to explain why making a puzzle together is great. It's actually you're working together towards solving a problem. You're going to do like, let's say, 1,000-piece puzzle. You're going to come up with a strategy together. And then you're going to do the different steps, and you're going to get excited when you find the blue part of sky that fits the corner. So you're going to actually communicate together in order to get a result. So it's like a team building nearly, except this is with your child. So it is a great way to reconnect with them and to actually work towards something, towards a goal together. That's what is making you connecting so much, is that you're working towards a goal together. You're looking to achieve something as a team. And you're going to share a victory at the end. You're going to share a success, a great success, which is when you're going to have the puzzle finished all together, you're going to be proud of each other. And this is a great thing as well to have with your child, with your teenager, is that you did it together and you can be proud of each other. This is a great achievement. And I don't know if you listened to my episode 3 about self-worth, but if you did and you created your success bank, and if you didn't, I invite you to go listen to this episode. You can put it in your success bank as something you did like as a team. And I think it makes it even more valuable as an achievement, the fact that it's a family activity. And now I'd like to move on to some sentences that you can tell your teenager that are very important and that are going to help them feel important to you, actually. They are going to help them feel appreciated and respected too. So the first one is to tell them, you're important. You matter to me. So this sentence is really important because teenagers, they are at their lowest in terms of self-esteem. And it's hard for them to think of it from inside, to be proud of themselves. So you telling them that they are important, saying that sentence to them, even if they brush it off, it's going to plant a seed in their head that they are important, because to you they are important. And no matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter how they behave with you, you're the most important person in their life right now. So this sentence is going to leave a great mark. And another sentence in the same vein is, I'm proud of you. End of the sentence. Oftentimes, when teenagers come back with good marks, we say, oh, you see, when you work, you can achieve better. This is not a congratulation. This is an insult. This is a lecture. I am proud of you. You did a great job. This is encouragement. This is what they need to hear at that moment, to then develop the capacity to be proud of themselves when it happens again. Now, very different, but the sentence, I'm sorry, when you wronged them, when you did something wrong to them. Apologizing to your teen should be a normal thing when you did something wrong, and a real apology. Because they are your child doesn't mean they do not deserve for your respect and your apology. You're not always right. They are not always wrong. How was I supposed to learn that actually authority, it doesn't mean that someone is bossy if you are not admitting when you're wrong and you're telling them that you're sorry when you did? Next, you're wrong. Yes, they need to hear that too. They need to hear when they are wrong. Sometimes they are wrong, and they need you to tell them so. You're wrong means you're not always right, love, and sometimes you make mistakes, and it's okay, because we're going to correct that together. That's the importance of this sentence. You're wrong. We're going to make you right. Next, I'm listening. So remember, we're talking about the mindful walk with them and actually listening to them. So that's their cue to talk. I am listening. Or if they are like upset, just saying the sentence, I'm listening. Again, it's their cue to talk, to share, and it means I'm not talking, I'm not judging. I'm only here to listen to you. And this is an important sentence because oftentimes the teens, they feel that if they are going to tell you what's going on, it's going to be an opportunity for you to lecture them, to tell them everything they did wrong, not really to listen to them and to what they feel and how it impacted them. I'm listening is the way to reassure them that this is not lecturing time, this is listening time. And of course, last but not least, I love you. Teenagers, they need to hear that more than ever. Because external validation is a bad thing. You should not crave it. If you are loved at home, for real, unconditionally, you're not going to look that much for external validation. So tell them you love them as often as much as you can. I hope you enjoyed listening to today's episode. I hope you learned something interesting. And if it is the case, please do let me know. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, what you learned, what you already knew. I want to hear all your comments about today's episode. Thank you for listening until the end. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You can find more resources on my website, www.coechiconfidencecoaching.ie. Please feel free to follow me on Instagram using the link on the episode's note. See you soon!